sort of like you're looking for a state whereby you're looking for.
Hi guys, welcome to Shikosplanet.
Maybe you should take it slow.
Yes, so karibu tena, welcome back to yet another episode. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a like and a comment if you please. So we still have Larry Suma joining us to continue with the series that we have been doing around, life in general. So today we are going to talk about life as a single man. And once again, kama kawaida, I got to reach out to my friends who relate to this. I mean, everyone at some point has been single. So again, this was a bit easy for them to come up with these pointers. And I'm glad that I have Larry and Suma to just go through these pointers with me as I get to read them out and we can get to discuss them. So without much ado, I'll get straight into the pointers. So number one, life as a single man is not to be missed. Although it is simpler, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like it's it. And so this explanation goes deeper to say that I can say I was single because I simply didn't find a relatable, compatible, or worthy companion. So let's talk about this. Is single like the thing, the niche? What this point is just talking about is that yes, single life is a space where you either choose to be part of it, circumstances force you to be in it, and it goes on and on and on. So maybe let's start with the different ways in which you feel men find themselves single. Of course, being young, we talked about the 15s, pre-15s, bye, embrace your singleness. But yeah, what are some of the reasons why people choose or men are in spaces where they're single? That season in itself.
I think one of them is what is mentioned. Maybe you're pursuing somebody and you find that you are not compatible with the person.
Yeah.
So instead of pursuing or looking for other alternatives, you choose to enjoy or single for until the time where it's right for you to be in a relationship again.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why you are single.
So would you say this is single and searching mode? You're trying to look for that person who's compatible, but you're single for now.
Yes, you could phrase it that way. Yeah.
I'm a single, ready to mingle. But then I'd like to understand, how do guys find these two phrases? Single and searching, single and ready to mingle. Maybe you can continue from that even as you talk about this space of how do men find themselves being single?
It's easy to be single, either from failed relationships, or you just from you've never actually gotten into a relationship. But either way, the stages that you are at, like either as you're saying, like single and searching, and single and ready to mingle. For single and ready to mingle, usually sounds like, I'm just here for the fun. I'm okay being single. I'm just here for the fun. I'm mingling, and once I'm done mingling, I'm done. I'm still single. And then single and searching goes just like I'm looking for someone whom I'm compatible with, so that I stop being single.
Okay, awesome. I think that's also good to know that there are times where people actually choose to be single. Like it's not like, oh yeah, you're single, it must be sad. And even though this pointer is more like I don't miss it, there are people who actually prefer that in the seasons that you're in. We'll get to know more about that. Okay, the next one is decision making is way easier So maybe you can talk about that.
Making decisions as an individual tends to be easier since you don't have to refer to someone else or another authority to pursue something or to do something you want. So during singleness, making decisions is easier.
Another point is better interactions with other people. So maybe you can get to talk more about that.
Like being single,
Yeah.
most of the time that you have, the free time, you get to spend with your friends, you get to spend with your family, you get to spend with people that actually mean a lot to you. So you form other connections with these other people because that time or that resource, the resource of time is not being taken away from you and being committed to one person. So you find that you're taking time to grow your friendships and if possible even your talents and the things that are of importance to you, your goals and your vision, because you have now the time to pursue those things, including the friendships.
And I think that progresses to the next point of space to grow yourself. Like you've mentioned, you interact with your hobbies, get to know your sports, get to know work, you even focus on work more. So I think that's also one of the things that you get to have as a plus, being a single guy. We also have more time to learn, observe, and discover and know what you need in a relationship. The one who wrote this was like free Netflix from those who are in relationships.
That's a strong point.
So what do you have to say about this? Do you feel like as guys, even as you're single, you're also trying to understand the kind of person you want to be in a relationship with? Or is it that you're single so you're like, we'll get to that when we get there? So what do you guys feel about that?
It's an opportunity to learn and, as he said, to grow. So that when you're getting into the next relationship, hopefully, it's something that is long lasting, something that you'll have pursued what you want. The intention will be right, and it's something that you will have prepared for. So it's important to also take that time to prepare yourself for the season of relationship.
Wow, that's a good one.
I think just to add on what Suma is saying, that in this period, like when you're taking that time, it's more of like being intentional about that like you're actually taking time to grow in this and develop in these other areas. Because I really can't suggest that you wing it and just be like, itakuwa tu sawa, so that you're taking that time to grow. Like if you're work oriented, you're making sure that your work is at that level, so that people know kazi yako ni hivyo, or people know you're good at this hivyo.
Awesome, and that's interesting to know that it's not just sulky, when you're single and you're and there's a pointer here, all the same, even with all those benefits about being single, two is better than one. So I think it's also good to acknowledge this even as a single man, that that either way, walking this journey called life with someone else is better than just being alone. So do you feel like that's something that rings often when you're single, when you're interacting with some situations and you're like, what? If I had someone, this situation would be better? Do you find yourself in that space when, let's say, you don't have someone you can say you're pursuing a relationship with?
From the last point, it's an opportunity to grow and prepare yourself for the next relationship, and it's good to acknowledge that it is good to be in a relationship, and it's it's not, there's no wrong in being in a relationship, and we're not here to
Right solo.
Yeah. And it would be unfair for me to come and encourage people to pursue singlehood.
Shikilia.
We were not meant to do this life alone. So as much as you are in that period of singlehood, you should have the desire also to pursue a relationship.
We also have, it's quite chilled and peaceful, especially if you had a rough experience in past relationships. But then I also think there is peace and chill when you get the right person. So I think this person is bringing in the, you know, you might actually be single because the previous one was just rough for you, but also you have that understanding that you have the right person. Then, you know, is there such thing as the right person? What do you guys think? Like, is there a point where you're single and then you're like, man, now I've found the right person for me, even as you transgress?
I think based on our earlier video, there's no the perfect person.
Perfection is a myth.
Perfection is a myth. That's what we say. So it boils down to like the right person, someone you'd share the same vision, someone you'd want to be together with, and probably like this person has the same feeling towards it too. So from what you've said, it's that someone was in a rough place, rough relationship, and they're like, fix me, I'm done, man. They just want my peace. So both sides are important, because them taking time to like now refocus, know what they want, and look for that person. And I want to believe that like there's that willingness to be single until they find this person.
This person. Okay. Another point is that for some, this is usually the time to also experience different types of women. I mean, there are people who also take singleness as a promiscuity moment. Yes, it's life as a single man, but like, do you feel like the rough experiences that someone faces, then it's sort of like, you know, projecting now to how they relate with people and just choosing to be this one today, choosing, like, how would you gauge the whole, someone who is single and now choosing to just now spread the wings and fly around to every mamacita around the town? What do you, like, how would you group that in terms of the state this single man is in?
Is a person who is experiencing singlehood in a different way.
Yes, clearly. You're just like, wow, okay, there are single people and there's you who's single.
So it happens. We should acknowledge that as well. But I wouldn't do that myself. Because I find that besides all that, you carry too much baggage for yourself. That it becomes too much to handle, and the burden that we already have is heavy. So just ease your baggage, ease your burden, and you have such a strong desire, you can pursue a relationship leading to marriage.
It's one of those, if you feel like you can't survive being single, then you know, try and open your eyes wider. I think this is also meant on the people who feel like singleness is more like, I'm not supposed to be here, so you have to force your way into women and other people just so that you're not single. And so it goes back to those mistakes that we talk about, just that now it's not in the first relationships, but even continuous relationships. We also have pressure to fit in, especially with those with relationships. So maybe this is when you have friends who are dating and are in relationships, and maybe you've been the single friend for so long, such that I don't know if you guys also have that fear of, hey, is this one single friend of mine I can't trust with my girl? So how about you guys talk more about, is there a pressure for a single man to fit in and live the single season just because the people around are in a relationship, or just self-induced pressure of how long have I been single? Yeah.
I think there's a book I read on this, and this thing on like being in that phase.
Yeah.
It's that you want to hang out, but your friends have their girls to go out with.
Yeah.
You know, when you're going out as a whole thingy, you are the third wheeler, the fifth wheeler, the seventh wheeler, somewhere there. So you begin to like have that pressure that, hey man, with the people I am with, let me get someone whom at least, when they're going out and like, I have this person. So the recommendations were just like, it's a matter of you choosing to enjoy your singlehood, so that you know that these people have priorities and commitments. So that as you're planning your schedule, as you're planning your life, you're planning with alongside some of these appointments that you have. Yes, you have deep and meaningful relationships with these people you call friends, like your guy friends, because you realize that sometimes you can be friends with a group like from 18 all the way to like 30, but by 30 everyone got a wife and they are married. Their priorities have shifted, so it's up to you to like do enough, like work on yourself, like enjoy your singleness, enjoy your solo moments while you're alone, enjoy being with yourself, and this is not just for the people who are single, it goes all the way back to people even who are in relationships. Like as you're in that relationship, you enjoy your company, so that when your spouse is not there, you're like, when is she getting home?
So codependency is also something someone needs to be very woke about. Like your individuality needs to remain, and you build it. What I get you saying is that you build it from the time you're single. It just doesn't happen like now you're dating someone and all of a sudden I'm independent. You build it from the word go. Okay, that's nice.
So if someone does not enjoy time alone, that's a red flag.
Okay. And how do you know that, let's say you're pursuing a lady in your singleness, how do you know that someone is not enjoying their free time? Or is it more of yourself, like it's a red flag for yourself?
No, it's hard to notice for yourself, but it's easy to notice for another person.
Okay.
So for another person, I think the most obvious one is just cleanliness.
Hello.
Like, hello, hi, can I come? Like, you.
It's me and my boys.
It's me and my boys. We're just going to play FIFA. I mean, okay, nitakuja nikae tu huko nyuma. You're killing the vibe. At this point, So, this like obvious signs that this person does not have hobbies. When they're alone, what are they doing? They're just sleeping, and then they wake up and look for other people to be with. So.
Okay. We also have another point of it relieves you the stress of having to text, call, and show up for people. You have no attachments, you have no obligations whatsoever. Yani, maisha stress-free. What do you have to say about this? You have moments where now you're single and like, okay, I needed this.
I don't have a big issue with being there for people, but at times you get to enjoy that. You are not the main guy. You're not the one who's being called all the time. And you get to use that time to do some other things, pursue your own personal goals. Because when you are on call, like doctors.
Yeah.
Every hour of the night, that becomes difficult.
Yeah.
Utalala saa ngapi? Pia uko na shule, and or maybe you have work. You have to be at a certain place at a specific time.
Yeah.
You're not able to be effective.
Yeah.
If you're on call the whole time.
We also have you have enough money, time, and opportunity to think and plan about yourself, your goals, with no restrictions and considerations. So I think we also touched on this, that maybe you can dig deeper in terms of like, what is it pressure when you're in a relationship where you like, when you say enough time, money, and opportunity to think and plan about yourself, do you feel like when you're single, then you actually have enough time and money and everything to plan around your goals?
Yeah, okay, not that that's the only period that you have enough time.
Yeah.
I think the word enough is kind of like says that, or when you're on the other side, you don't have enough time, you know. But in that space, it's just like you have more time to yourself, you know. And I think in this space, that is what we are appreciating this, like when you're single, like that is what we are trying to appreciate, that you have enough time, like you just have time for yourself, you know. So either way, you know, like the issue for us, like what we're trying to say is like, you know, what are you doing with the time? What are you doing with the time? Money, you know. Are you investing it? Or you're just like, I'm splashing it all out until you get out? You know, what am I doing with my other relationships? Am I just wasting them? Am I, you know? So that is sort of like an angle, like you want to look at it, you know, that I'm single in this space. I have, you know, I'm not sharing this with another person. So in this space, you know, am I consciously doing these things? Am I intentionally doing these things on my own? Am I making these decisions on my own? Because we can say I'm not committed to a relationship. I'm not like in a relationship, but that time, that money, you someone else is influencing it, which is your friends. Now they're telling you, you know what, you're gonna spend it on this. So you're like, you know, you're still there. There's no difference. There's no difference between you and someone who's actually dating.
Also, there could be someone who likes ziplining, and then your partner considers it dangerous. So
they need you alive.
She suggests that the money be used in another way. Handbag. Kuna viatu fulani nilinotice. But so when you're single, if you like ziplining, you can, and you have money for ziplining, and you have money for ziplining, you go and zipline. That's a pack.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is where you also, like, most of the times, let's say it's not like the only times you're in relationships is when you finance it like a super. So if you have that moment where you have to weigh, okay, is it the zip line, is it the shoes, you're like, you know what, selflessness, shoes, there you have it. But then if the relationship ends, you're like, okay, now. But I think it's also another way of saying that it's not like now when you're in a relationship you stop pursuing the things that completely, now you're done about the things that make you happy, you're super fixed on this other person. Anyway, yeah, so I guess that's it on today's video, and I like how, other than talking about life as a single man, they have also pondered about the things that can also keep you engaged even as you're single. Like, life is not just about a romantic relationship, you have other relationships, and so there is life to being a single man. Samira, thank you so much for clicking, and if you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe and leave a thumbs up, comment down below, see you on the next sit down with Shikosplanet.